hope you are doing wonderful and fabulous. This will be the last Christmas edition of Coffee and Crime, so we're gonna get started. Grab your coffee. We're gonna talk some crime. And this case is very, very well known and haunts me to this day. It is a very sad and hard case to swallow, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Laci Denise Rocha was born to parents Dennis Rocha and Sharon Anderson on May 4th, 1975 in Modesto, California. After Laci's first birthday, Dennis and Sharon separated. Sharon took Laci and her older brother Brent to live in a rented home in Modesto, California. After graduating high school, where Laci was a cheerleader, she attended California Polytechnic State University. She majored in ornamental horticulture. During her time in college, Laci met Scott Peterson in mid-1994 at a small restaurant in Morro Bay where Scott had been working. In December 1996, Scott and Laci became engaged. They later married on August 9th, 1997, a few months before Laci graduated. Laci had expressed a desire to become pregnant within the first few years of her and Scott's marriage. So in May 2002, Laci did become pregnant. As most expectant mothers, Laci decorated the baby's room on 523 Covina Avenue in Modesto, California, and prepared to welcome her baby boy, which she named Connor, into the world. On the evening of December 23rd, 2002, Scott and Laci went to go get his hair cut. Later that evening, Sharon, Laci's mother, spoke with Laci on the telephone around 8:30 p.m. On December 24th, 2002, around 10:15 a.m., a golden retriever was found running loose in the neighborhood where Scott and Laci lived. The dog was wearing a collar and a muddy leash. Mackenzie was Laci and Scott Peterson's golden retriever. The neighbor returned Mackenzie to the Petersons' home. Scott had stated he had arrived home after fishing to find Laci's 1996 Land Rover Discovery in the driveway. Her purse containing her keys and wallet were still on the table inside the home. Reports state that Scott washed his clothes, ate some cold pizza, cleaned up the kitchen, then took a shower. At roughly 5:20 p.m., Scott called Sharon, Laci's mother, and asked if Laci was with her. When Sharon replied that she was not, Scott said, "Laci's missing." Laci's parents then called the police at 6 p.m. Police, family members, friends, and neighbors immediately searched the surrounding area and the park. Police suspected foul play from the beginning, doubting that she would vanish on Christmas Eve while being 8 months pregnant without contacting anyone. Laci's family and friends offered a $500,000 reward for her safe return. They posted flyers, blue and yellow ribbons, created a website, set up a vigil, and created a command center nearby with volunteers to record developments and circulate information. Laci's disappearance created a media frenzy. Her beautiful, smiling face was seen on magazines, newspapers, and television shows. Unfortunately, on April 13th, 2002, a couple walking their dog discovered a decomposing yet well-preserved body of a late-term male fetus on the San Francisco Bay shore near Berkeley. One day later, the body of a recently pregnant woman wearing cream-colored maternity pants and a maternity bra washed to shore 1 mile away from where the baby's body had been found. DNA tests verified the bodies were of Laci and her son, Connor. From the start, Scott was reluctant to talk to the press. His actions and behavior were very suspicious during the search for Laci. Scott sold Laci's Land Rover for a pickup truck and talked to a real estate agent about selling their home. Laci's family stood by Scott and defended him until a major blow was delivered to the family by the police, when they informed them that pictures of Scott and another woman were discovered. After this discovery, Laci's family withdrew their support for Scott. It was later revealed that Scott had numerous affairs, including the most recent with a massage therapist, Amber Frey. A friend of Amber's, Sean Sibley, had met Scott at a trade convention in October of 2002. Scott told her he was single and looking, yet he was married to Laci at that time. Sean Sibley thought Scott would be a great match for Amber and gave Scott Amber's number. Scott then called Amber on November 19th, 2002 and met her the next day. After a month-long romance, Amber discovered that Scott was a person of interest in Laci's disappearance and contacted the police. Amber informed the police that Scott told her on December 9th, 2 weeks before Laci's disappearance, that he was a widower and it would be his first Christmas without his wife. With the assistance of the police, Amber continued talking to Scott while the police recorded their telephone conversations. On April 18th, 2003, Scott was arrested. He had dyed his naturally dark brown hair blonde, and his Mercedes was overstuffed with miscellaneous items, including nearly $15,000 in cash, 12 Viagra tablets, survival gear, camping equipment, several changes of clothes, 4 cell phones, and 2 driver's licenses. On April 21st, 2003, Scott Peterson was arraigned and charged with 2 felony counts of murder with premeditation and special circumstances. He pled not guilty. His trial began on June 1st, 2004. On November 12th, 2004, Scott Peterson was convicted of first-degree murder for Laci's death and second-degree murder for Connor's death. The judge called the murder of Laci cruel, uncaring, heartless, and callous. I remember watching the news coverage and just pretty much like everyone being glued to the television, wondering what had happened to this beautiful pregnant woman. And like many people, I had no doubts it was her husband, Scott. There are so many situations and true crimes involving pregnant women that are killed because the men don't want to take responsibility. They want to be free from taking care of another person. I remember being so drawn to Laci, and not even knowing her, and just feeling the despair of the family. And to this day, it still saddens me that she wanted so much to bring this little baby boy into the world and love him. And what really tore at my heart was the book that Laci's mother wrote called For Laci. And I did, of course, my typical research with Wikipedia and YouTube, but this book, if you have not read it, is such a fantastic book. It really shows more of Laci than just being a victim. So that is it for this Christmas edition Coffee and Crime episode. Next week we will get back to the regular coffee and crime. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. Like this video, click that subscribe button, watch a miracle happen. I love you guys so much. Bye.